Hello everybody, my name is Jason and I am here with Bob, and we got some great responses from the last video about the computerized mass storage system that's available in the Attack of the B Team mod pack. And as promised, I am back to show you some more. I'm going to show you a couple new items and a couple automations that I use here in my world that make life so much easier. So let's get started. Alright everybody, we are back here in the tutorial world, and as you can see, this is pretty much where we left off last time. The one difference is we only have one routed interface pipe connected to this chest, and inside it there's only one extractor chip. Now what happened last time was the one extractor chip really wasn't pulling things out of this chest very fast, so we just added more, and it pumped stuff out a little bit quicker. But now there's only one extractor chip in there, and just look at this stuff fly right out of it and into the system. What happened is we upgraded the extractor chip. After my last video, Generic B himself saw it and he started tinkering around with the mod. And he popped into my Twitch channel and he said, "Hey, have you seen this router utility?" Now what this is it's pretty easy to make. It only takes some iron and some redstone. And what you do is you shift right click and it opens up this interface. In the middle you have this spot and you can add a chip. When you add the chip, this R slot and L slot have a little description in it, but basically what it comes down to is that you can upgrade it. So you add the upgrade pieces into the spot. These upgrade pieces are really cheap to make. I mean, the most expensive one is the Z's, and they take 1 emerald. The others take a little bit of lapis, and the others just a little bit of redstone. They're really easy to make. But you hit install, and now you have a fully upgraded chip. It'll put out full stacks of items, and it'll pump them out really quick. A couple of the other chips also have upgrades, so take a look at them, and they will really enhance your system. Mostly just the extractor chips. The other ones I haven't found all that useful. But that's that. Now let's get on with the automation. Okay, for our first automation, we are going to process some ore. For this, you will need a pulverizer and a redstone furnace from the thermal expansion mod, and you will need to power them. If you don't know about those, you can look up a ton of YouTube videos, and they are all over the place for these two machines. But what we're going to do is we're going to set the configuration so that the input is coming into the top and it's going out the bottom. You want to do that for both of them. So input in the top, output out the bottom. And then we are going to need some router interface pipes, some item transport pipes, item extractor chips, and an item stock keeper chip. We are going to put the item interface pipes on top. We're going to connect it to the rest of the system, like so. And then we're going to go into our item extractor chip. And we wanted to extract anything and everything from the pulverizer and the redstone furnace. So we're going to go into filter, we're going to blacklist nothing, and then we're going to go to this extract orientation option. And what this is it shows you a chest. You can move it around, you can select different sides. And what we're going to do is we're going to select the bottom. And what this does is even though there's not a pipe connected to the bottom, and this is actually connected to the top of the chest, it's going to tell the extractor chip to pull from the bottom and then send it back through the system. So it's basically just pretending it's pulling from the bottom even though it's actually pulling from the top. And we're going to stick both of those in there. Now we have this new chip called the item stock keeper chip. It's got two options. It's got a fill mode type thing, and we're going to leave that alone. Then it's got a stock, and what this is a matrix, and any item you put in the matrix is what it will try to keep into the container at all times. So we are going to grab some ores here and some pulverized ores. What we're going to do is we're going to split these up. We're going to go into the option, and we are going to go into the stock, and we're going to take the copper and the iron and put them in the one for the pulverizer. And what we're going to do is we're going to left and right click to adjust this value. We're going to put it to 64. If you shift and left or right click, it'll go up and down by 10. I'm going to do this here same way, go up to 64, and then we're going to exit out and we're going to put it in there. So we got the item extractor, a stock keeper chip in this interface pipe. What that's going to do is it's going to try and keep 64 iron ore and 64 copper ore in this pulverizer at all times. Now obviously there's not space for that, so what it's going to do is it's going to try and send a whole lot of stuff to this pulverizer. It's going to realize that half of it can't fit, and it's going to send that stuff back. And then once the pulverizer is empty, it'll pull out the copper or the iron, whichever it didn't get the first time. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab some ores. We're going to stick them in the system. Didn't have any, so iron and copper. Sorry about that. I'm going to stick them in the system, and they'll get sent to a chest, and then a whole bunch of stuff is going to get sent to the pulverizer. The copper is going to get there first, and you'll see there's a little bit of iron. It didn't make it there, so it gets sent back and goes to the next closest chest. But now we have it pulverizing the copper. You can see it's pulling the copper out of the bottom, the dust, and it's getting sent back here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take this other stock keeper chip, and we're going to put the pulverized versions of the ore into there. We're going to up this a bit. It doesn't have to be 64, it just needs to be high enough that it starts sending stuff through. We're going to put that in there. Some of that copper is now going to start getting sent back. And it's going to go right into the furnace. There it goes. What's going to happen is it's going to turn into ingots and get sent back into the chest. Now it's going to be in our system, and we can pull it out as copper ore and ingots. There they are, right there, copper ingot. And that's pretty much it. That makes your ore processing almost a non-issue. You don't even have to worry about it. You just stick it all in, you wait a little bit, and then all your stuff is set to ingots. Alright, for our next automation, you can still see that one's going, but we are going to make an automated potato farm. Now this uses the harvester and the planter from the Mine Factory Reloaded mod, and they're both powered over here. But if you don't know about those, you can look up videos of them. They're all over the place. But we're going to need a routed junction pipe, item transport pipe, routed interface pipes, and then the same thing as before, an item extractor chip and a stock keeper chip, and a potato, because that's what we're going to be using for the stock. We're going to need a routed junction pipe right here, which I had one from a previous take. We're going to connect it to the system like so. We're going to put an interface pipe here, and then we're going to come over here and put another interface pipe on this chest. Now we're going to need to use the item extractor to pull everything out of the chest and send it back into the system. So we're going to go into the settings. We're going to blacklist nothing because we wanted to export everything. And we're going to throw that in there. And we're going to go into the stock keeper chip. We're going to go into the stock and we're going to add our potato. And we're going to pump that up to, let's go with 64. It's not a very big farm, so we don't need a huge stock. And then we're going to throw that in there. Now, as soon as we get some potatoes in the system, they will start getting planted, and when they're ripe, they will start getting harvested and sent straight back into the system. And once we have more than 64 in the planter, it'll start really filling up our chest. I have one of these in my world, and it is insane. I had to stop it because I was getting so many potatoes. But you will see the potatoes start flying back there in a second. There they go. Now they're getting planted, and we wait. Clearly we don't want to wait, so I am going to add a fertilizer to the system really quick. And this will bone meal the crap out of everything. And as the potatoes get harvested, you can see them getting sent back into the system. And then once they get there, they get sent back to the planter if there aren't 64 potatoes in the planter. Then I'll keep going, and you will just get an endless supply of potatoes until you eventually have to stop it because you have too many. So it's another great automation. You can use it with any other type of farm, any of the Mine Factory Reloaded farms. I use a tree one for my power generation thing, which I'll show you in another video if people are interested. Okay, everybody. I hope that was useful for you. If it wasn't, I'm sorry, and you probably should have turned off the video by now. But if you enjoyed it, leave me some feedback. Tell me what you thought. Maybe like, subscribe. I plan on doing at least one more video about the automated crafting, and beyond that, I'm not quite sure. If people are interested in some of the other systems I have set up, then I may do more videos. Leave some feedback, let me know, and maybe I'll see you next time. Bye.